Hello to you, the brave crew of the Deep Dive channel. I am the captain, and I'm happy you've joined me for another exploratory journey into the depths of the human mind. We all want to have an edge, a way to connect better, to persuade others, to stay calm in tough situations, and to be remembered. But psychology isn't just for therapists or university professors. The world of psychology is full of simple, everyday tricks, hacks for the mind that anyone can use. Today we're going to discover 50 psychological cheat codes that really work. By the end of this video, you will learn how to gain others' trust in less than a few seconds, win in negotiations, and make others unconsciously drawn to you. This isn't a claim, it's a science. So fasten your seatbelts because our journey into the depths of the hidden codes of human behavior starts right now. Our first stop, building connection and trust. How can you make someone like you instantly? The answer is strange but simple. Ask for their help. Yes, you heard that right. Even asking a small question like, "Can you explain this part to me?" creates intimacy. People like those who make them feel useful, want to gain someone's trust, mirror their movements, subtly imitate their walking speed, speech rhythm, or tone of voice. This creates a sense of closeness and trust on a subconscious level. Another way to break the ice is to share a small secret or a weakness of your own first. When you reveal something, the other person feels safer to reveal their own truth. For example, say with a laugh, "I'm not good at remembering names at all." This makes you seem more real and quickly builds trust. There are two other simple tricks. When you greet someone, smile. Even a forced smile activates the mirror neurons in the other person's brain, and they will unconsciously smile back at you and feel better towards you. And finally, when speaking, keep your palms open. Open hands are a sign of honesty and safety, and they build trust in the other person's subconscious. Now that we've built trust, it's time to move to the second stop, persuasion and influence. How do we get others on our side? First rule, be direct. Instead of saying, "Can you do this?" which sounds optional, say, "Please do this." When requests are direct, not hypothetical, they are much more likely to be done. When you're asking a question, you want the answer to be yes to, nod your head slowly while asking. Since humans unconsciously imitate each other, the other person will feel pulled towards agreement. Another powerful technique is the small commitment. After people say yes to a small request, they are much more likely to agree to a larger one. This is the psychology of commitment. And now for the magic word, because. Any request accompanied by the word because sounds more convincing, even if the reason isn't very logical. The word itself prepares the brain for agreement. Instead of giving orders, give others a choice. For example, instead of saying "you have to start this," ask, "Do you want to start at 2 or 3? This sentence gives the other person a sense of power, while both answers move you towards your goal. And finally, in your presentations and talks, use the rule of 3. 3 points, 3 examples, or 3 steps. The brain loves patterns of 3 because it gives it a sense of completeness. Well, dear crew, our journey is getting more exciting. Now we arrive at the station for managing difficult situations. Here we'll learn how to take control of the situation in discussions, negotiations, and stressful conditions. Suppose you've asked someone a question and they're evading the answer. What do? Pause, maintain eye contact, and stay completely silent. This meaningful silence makes the other person so uncomfortable that they usually reveal more information than they intended. During an argument, if you keep your cool or even smile, you disarm the other person. They expect you to get angry too, and when that doesn't happen, their anger loses its fuel. There's a physical trick too. Always sit next to your opponent or rival, not across from them. Sitting next to each other gives a sense of cooperation, not confrontation, and this softens negotiations. And in negotiations, after you've stated your demand, don't say anything else. The other side will fill the silence by making concessions. If someone shouts at you, don't raise your voice. On the contrary, lower your voice. That person's energy will unconsciously align with yours and come down. If you don't want to get into an argument, ask questions instead of disagreeing. Asking questions makes others think, while disagreeing puts them on the defensive. And a golden tip for public speaking: if you're stressed, tell the audience you're stressed. This makes you seem human and relatable, and the audience will empathize with you instead of judging you. And now, for the last stop of our journey before reaching the final destination, memory and learning. How can we remember things better and make others not forget us? To remember small tasks, tie them to a ridiculous and irrelevant phrase. For example, when locking the door of your house, say to yourself, "Purple tiger." Later, When you doubt whether you locked the door or not, you'll remember that strange phrase, and your mind will be at ease. There's an important rule in memory. People remember the beginning and end of everything better. So, try to schedule your interviews, meetings, or presentations for the beginning or end of the day to stand out more in people's minds. When taking notes, use a pen and paper, not a laptop. Writing by hand activates more pathways in the brain and helps you remember the material better. To remember someone's name, repeat it immediately after hearing it. For example, say, "Nice to meet you, Sarah." Hearing the name a second time registers it in the memory, and the best way to really learn something is to teach it to someone else. Explaining a topic forces your brain to process it deeply, and it will stick in your mind much more than just studying it. And finally, if you want to be memorable in someone's mind, attach emotions to your words. People forget facts, but they will never forget the feeling you made them have. Well, dear crew of Deep Dive, in this amazing journey, we've dived into the depths of the hidden codes of the mind. We've learned that human behavior is guided by small levers and subtle cues that shape memory, trust, and influence. But the final point and the most important part of our journey is this. The purpose of these tricks is not to manipulate others. The purpose is awareness, connection, and respect. These are reminders that show that the simplest changes often create the deepest impacts. The mind is powerful, but in the end, it's the heart that decides. This journey of ours has also come to an end. I hope these psychology cheat codes will help you to be a better captain for your own life's ship in the turbulent sea of human relationships. Thank you so much for being with me, the captain, and the Deep Dive team on this deep exploratory journey. It's with your support that our crew gets stronger and more curious every day. If you found this deep dive into the world of practical psychology useful, please give us energy by liking the video, and if you're not yet a member of our crew, join this big family by hitting the subscribe button. Write for us in the comments which one of these tricks was the most interesting for you. We love you very much, and until the next journey, farewell.